let's start with the controversies now. It started with when Qatar won the bidding to host the World Cup, the scheduling. I mean, it's one of a kind, the Winter World Cup. The heat, climate, and everything. Then we have human rights issues. Migrant workers, stuff like that. Then the LGBT. So many controversies surrounding this World Cup. And just a few days before the tournament kicked off, alcohols were banned around the stadium. You can't drink alcohol. Then the big one, the One Love armband from various captains to show their support for the LGBT community. Now, looking at all these controversies, I mean, I love what Hugo Lloris said before the tournament. He said, in his country, you try to, force people to obey the rules of. I mean, he's French. You try to, tell people to obey the rules of your own country. That he will be doing the same if he gets to Qatar. Now, why some section of Europe trying to force their own beliefs on a country like Qatar? I mean, it sparked a whole lot of debate online, and just this one yesterday, the armband caused a whole lot of reaction. So what do you make of all these controversies surrounding the World Cup? Before we go to the on-pitch activities now, let's talk about the things surrounding the World Cup off the pitch and all the controversies around it. So what's your take on all these controversies, and do you think we should just focus on football and allow Qatar to host and move on?
I think I will take it up from Gianni Infantino, where he talked about for 3,000 years we've been forcing people to do this, to do that. We need to shut up. Yeah. And by we means Europe and the Western world. I think that it doesn't make sense what these people say. And I've been saying it for a very long time that it's only weak countries that would allow foreigners to undermine their sovereignties. If you know what you're doing as a country, these people came out and they told us that if you live in Rome, you do as the Romans do. Okay, America allows you, the Second Amendment allows you to bear firearms in America, for instance. The British pride themselves as a no-gun country. As entitled as Americans are to the gun, to keeping their gun, Americans that are traveling to the UK don't travel with their gun to the UK. Are they saying that they are not afraid of people breaking into their space or attacking them, or burglaries, or people trying to kill them in the UK? But they know that does not allow, so they will not do it. Okay, there are laws for a reason. If I travel from Nigeria and I'm going to the UK, I will not drive the way I drive in Nigeria. The UK, they drive right-hand drive. We drive left-hand drive. So if I go to the UK, I would automatically begin to look for how to drive my right-hand drive. I won't say no, in my country, we're left-hand drivers, so they must respect it. The UK government must be inclusive. They must no. It doesn't work that way. And there are laws that govern the things and the acts that takes place there. And I follow it, okay? So if the Qatar people say, look, you're coming for this World Cup, in our country we don't allow this, or we don't allow that, we don't allow that. My question is, why is it that it is only the Europeans and the Americans that are making noise? The World Cup is not only about Europeans and Americans. There are Asians that are in this tournament, there are Africans that are in this tournament, and they are not complaining. It is the World Cup. When they host the Euros, they can do whatever they choose to do. Sometimes people should learn. Colonialism has been abrogated or have been eradicated, but some are in the minds of some people, so they still think that they are superior to others and they can force their will and wishes on people. It's a football World Cup. There are over 800 foreign companies of this in Qatar. Of this over 800 foreign companies in Qatar, that's the ones that I have documented. 73% of them are British owned, British and American owned, either joint or partnership, whatever it is. These companies have migrant workers working under terrible conditions. The jersey that England national team wear is made by child labor who earn 21 pence, not pounds, per day. Okay, something that no British government will allow their children to do. In Indonesia, why are they not complaining that we are wearing a jersey that is coming out of child labor or forced labor, migrant workers that are laboring like slaves? They're not complaining about it. Why is it that when it comes to this Qatar, just because Qatar beat America and beat America and the UK to hosting of the hosting right of this World Cup, people will not hear what again. I mean, there are things you do, you just make yourself look very, very stupid. I think that they are complaining in the wrong way. When it comes to the World Cup, what I thought was that it is FIFA that decide what emblem, what logo will show. We've seen people being punished for advertising what is not allowed in the Premier League, neither the Euros and the rest. Remember when Lord Bretner was punished for exposing a brand, a Calvin Klein pants, when he scored a goal for exposing it. So you're not going to come here and say, because if you allow them to do that, some other people will come tomorrow and say, oh, we want to advertise something, we want to run a political campaign, and then it becomes a mess. So you're not going to set a precedent that doesn't work. If you don't want to be part of it, the best way to put your support is to boycott the World Cup. To say, okay, yes, the World Cup is going on here, we love the LGBTQ community so much, okay, we're not going to participate in it. So we know that you want to play, maybe the LGBTQ community will set up their own FIFA, their own World Cup, and you go and play in that Rainbow World Cup. Who cares about it? But then the English people should shut up and play football, because that's what the World Cup is about. If you want to have a political conversation, have it holistically. If you want to have an LGBTQ community conversation, have it holistically. Don't wait for the World Cup. When Formula 1 race is going on in Bahrain and Dubai, do we have this LGBTQ community conversation? No, we don't. When boxing matches are going on, do we have this conversation? No. When every other thing, the Cricket World Cup and the rest is going on, why must it be football? What is wrong with all these people? What point are they trying to say? When we come to your country, we behave based on the laws of your country. We respect your laws and behave accordingly. So when you go to another man's country, don't go there and try to trample on their laws. Qatar might not be England, but that's the reason why we talk about diversity. You must respect other people. You are demanding respect for you, but you're not trying to give that same respect to them. I don't think it makes sense. I saw the Japanese fans clearing up stadium. I mean, they didn't have to make noise about it. That's what we call respect, okay? And I like what they say. You know the funny thing? That put Japan on top of the map more than anything, because I saw a lady say, we Japanese people, we don't leave debt behind. We don't eat and leave debt behind. That's something that is beautiful about the World Cup. We saw that was it in Brazil or in Russia?
Russia, yeah.
Where Senegal, is it Senegal?
Japan did same in Russia.
Japan did same, and then Senegalese, I think Senegalese fans also did the same. Those are the kind of things we want to see when it comes to football, not this rubbish I was saying. And then the British people that seems to want to poke their nose in everybody's business and talking about migrant workers, all this stuff. Their own son, David Beckham, who was the face of the English bid, also is making 150 million pounds from this World Cup as an ambassador of this World Cup. And what have they got to say about it? I don't know why they're not complaining that David Beckham is making money off a country that have migrant laws, of a country that does not support LGBTQ, of a country that is against this or that. So let's keep the hypocrisy to the side and play football and enjoy football. Congratulations to them. They won one of the weakest team of the tournament, and it's fine. Their young players find a way to score. Jude Bellingham, Saka. I'm happy for the football players, but hey, let's focus on football. It's the Football World Cup and not the LGBTQ rally or whatever campaign they want to have. If you want to have a human rights campaign, go to the UN, go to WHO, go to UNICEF. But if you want to have a football conversation, deal with FIFA, and FIFA is all about football. Enough of all this nonsense, and then let's focus on the football and talk about football. I can't believe that we're spending this much time talking about trivia issues that doesn't have any business to do with football. I think the European nations were scared that, probably Qatar will not be good this time of the season, the weather might not make them play well, and thank God 2 European countries have played and they've won. Okay, 2 European countries played, they won. Netherlands won 2-0 against a very strong African country, the defending champions, the African champions, and they played against England played against a country that is more known for bombing than for playing football, and they won 6-2. Okay, one thing that shows there that England can concede, you can score against England, and I was surprised that England conceded the first goal and Harry Maguire started having dizzy feet. Okay, I don't know what happened. There was no contact, there was nothing, no concussion. He just started having dizzy feet. I don't know what that really means anyway. But then they conceded 2 goals and scored 6. So kudos to them for putting up a team that is good. All of the things that is good about English football is being messed up by the conversation around this LGBTQ. Let's be very, very honest here. Is this really what England is known for? These same English people came to Africa and told us that we are not allowed to marry more than one wife. And they forced that on us. and our fathers and everybody agreed. But then these same people were running slave ships all over the place. Nobody complained about it. They've not apologized for that to this very day. And then today you want to tell other people how to live their life? Come on, shut up. You have no moral high ground to discuss anything and to sell your immorality around the world. Shut up. That's what they should be told. Anybody who's pushing this campaign should be told to shut up. If you want to be LGBTQ community, that's your business. Stay in your community, but don't lord it over anybody.
I think they feel, football, it's the World Cup. It's going to be watched all over the world. So they wanted to use that.
Sit in your house and watch your World Cup.
Yeah, to unify everything and, make it so that everybody.
Wait, are they divided? Is LGBTQ divided?
In a way, they are.
Divided how?
Like people don't rate them as a normal society.
Do you rate them?
I'm going to support them because I feel like every human being deserves what they feel is right to them.
But you need to adapt to the whole.
So can I come to your house? Can I come to your house and go to your kitchen and serve food myself?
So no.
Do I have that right?
No.
That's exactly what these people are saying. Like, if I come to your house, I'll sit in the corner on the chair that you offer me to sit. I will take what you offer me. I can't come to your house and start telling you, oh no, you shouldn't be watching this TV now. This TV is stale. Yeah, you should have different type of TV. No, I can't do that. Respect is also part of human existence. I need to have respect for you so that you can return that respect to me. Anything about respect is when you give it, you get it. There are over 800 companies that are British owned in Qatar. Don't they know this? They've been running since forever. Don't they know that all of these things happen? How come they don't complain? Don't they make more profit than the FIFA World Cup itself? Why is it that the FIFA World Cup is what they want? How many of these British companies in Qatar employ LGBTQ members of staff in their businesses? So they should shut up, please.
All right, Toy, and when you talk about the weather, I think these people, the Qatari people, have done something about that because in all the stadiums they are fully air conditioned. So you could say these people know the weather isn't friendly and all that. So I think that's a good move from there when you talk about the facilities and stuff like that.